marking one of the darkest chapters in Taiwan's history. 76 years to the date since martial law began, survivors of the political crackdown that followed are joined by government officials to commemorate the decades-long era known as the White Terror. Under the oppressive regime, thousands were killed and more than 100,000 imprisoned until martial rule was lifted 43 years later.
我们一再讲白色恐怖，我们不是要挑起仇恨，也不是要挑起对立。你们为什么不能面对，跟我们所有台湾人一起面对当年43年的戒严的白色恐怖，这么多人的死亡？你们为什么不能够跟我们一起面对，让这件事情成为我们彼此之间的一个和平的开始？
Since democratization in the 1980s, Taiwan has been trying to right the wrongs of its authoritarian past. The government has exonerated political prisoners, redistributed ill-gotten gains and given compensation. Sites like this detention centre, where those who opposed the nationalist government were detained, mistreated and sentenced in secret military courts, are now open to the public, serving as reminders to the brutality of authoritarian rule. And just 1 year ago, Taiwan's government established White Terror Memorial Day after a campaign by the victims and their families. But the future of this Memorial Day is uncertain. Taiwan's legislature, where opposition parties have the majority, left it off a new bill for important national days. And now, rights groups accuse the main opposition party, the Kuomintang or KMT, which is descended from that nationalist government, of blacking out history.
I think they are afraid that people will eventually realize that this party has never admitted to its past and its mistakes, and they did not even take the responsibilities of, to undo what they have done and to compensate or even to apologize as a whole party.
Taiwan's main political parties agree on very little, and this is just the latest in a string of issues to stoke partisan tensions. But it also reveals a split in society on how Taiwan should confront its violent past.
I think the Taiwanese society is kind of coming to terms with that. Okay, we have this past that at least a good number of people want to address, right? But then there's also a part of the population that kind of asks, well, I don't remember that period being that terrible. Or maybe it was terrible, but can we just move on and kind of forget about the whole thing?
Though places like this detention centre remain, Taiwan's era of politically motivated disappearances and executions can seem like a distant past for many here. The country is now known as a bastion of democracy and one of the most liberal places in Asia, which is exactly the point for those who support keeping a day dedicated to the victims of White Terror. Today's freedom came at a steep price, and it should not be forgotten. Joseph Wu and Rick Glauert for TaiwanPlus.